Let's start with Leeds United 3, Chelsea 1. What a win for the team in white. Great performance by those Leeds. A much-needed win, of course, after their I say struggles. I mean, it's struggling to pick up a few points. People, myself included, thought, I do fancy them still to go down, but Daniel Farke has shoved one in the eye of me and one in the eye of Chelsea Football Club, because they were flying high off the back of a very impressive victory against Barcelona, Jim. They drew against Arsenal, being down to 10 men, of course, for most of the game, went toe-to-toe with the soon-to-be Premier League champions. But they went to Ellen Road, and my goodness, they got biffed. They got biffed all over the gaff.
They did get biffed by lovely Daniel Farke as well. And I think you're right to mention the week Chelsea have had. I think it looked like there was evidence of some tired legs out there, because not only have they had two very intense games, they played over a half with 10 men there. So I think that is certainly a factor. But so I was at the Emirates last night to watch Arsenal v Brentford. You see the score and you think, oh, that's brilliant that they've raced into that lead. But it's, they've scored after 6 minutes. Plenty of time for Chelsea to get back into this. They probably will. You see they go 2-0 up. You go, okay. But then Pedro Neto scores and you think, all right, Chelsea will probably turn the screw a bit here. But then I got home and saw how the game was unfolding, and I was surprised by how comfortable Leeds were. Yeah. Because as you've mentioned, they've had some difficult results recently, and it was starting to look like Leeds might get cut adrift with Burnley and Wolves. And I think we're all kind of invested in the success of the promoted teams in a quite outsized way at the moment because of the way the past few seasons have gone. So I think Leeds have a lot of kind of goodwill from the neutrals, and I'd certainly include myself amongst that. I was just so impressed with how calm and comfortable they were. Yeah. They were really, really good for it as well. I mean, obviously, Tosin Adarabioyo makes a big mistake that gifts them that goal, but it comes from their pressure. Yeah. And, the structure that Farke has them playing under at the moment, this kind of 3-5-2 situation with the wing-backs is working really, really well for them.
Well, it is working. He obviously changed it against Man City, and they were gutted not to get a result. I mean, when you said they've had some tricky results, I think they have, the Man City one's is an obvious one, so I'll go on about that too much. But I suspect there have been some Leeds fans saying, well, hang on, we've got it in us to stay up this season. And we've, Wolves are, they obviously lost again last night, 2 points, it's a very poor tally. So that's that. With Burnley, I think they've done all right, but with, you would say, a more limited squad and a manager who has not really done that well previously in the Premier League, you worry about them. Same could be said for Farke. But I think Leeds are the one, aren't they, of those three teams that have been down there in recent weeks. They're the ones who people are thinking, okay, well, what have you got? And Peter, with this victory, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin suddenly playing like a man possessed. Come on.
I mean, he was present and he was there to touch the ball.
He was there. He was the Sky Sports man of the match, Peter.
All right, fine. I was more thinking of him getting the final touch on his goal. But was he actually the man of the match? That's very interesting. That. Well, I just think that him playing two men up top just seemed to help Leeds out massively, and he's become less kind of dogmatic about how he approaches games at Farke. The wing backs, like Jim said, they look really up for it, and they look like they're willing to show something in the Premier League, hoping against hope that they're going to, retain their Premier League status. But is it too late for Farke? I mean, obviously, there was a lot of talk going into this match that Farke's Leeds United did beat Maresca's Leicester City twice in like a couple of seasons ago. So there might be something to be said for he's just got Maresca's number and Maresca just overthinks things. But I do think I wish he'd put these sort of performances together and like you say, the performance against Manchester City together a little bit earlier in the season, because it just seems like a little bit too late, and they may be looking for somebody else, a little bit of fresh blood and the long forgotten new manager bounce to get him out of it.
They've just got out of the relegation zone and you're saying it's too late.
Yeah, but I think Pete's onto something there. I think Farke in particular does feel like a manager where a short bad run starts to bring the doubts in, and obviously we're speculating. We don't know how the higher ups at Leeds think, but speculation does seem to stick to him very quickly, doesn't it? So he needs to build on this, really, of course, and it's created a good platform for them to do it, and I really hope he can do it as well. But I absolutely know what Pete's saying.
Well, I think we'll get to the performance in just a sec, but to tap into what you're saying, Forest above them, Forest, Fulham, Bournemouth, Brentford, Newcastle, Spurs, Everton, you're into the top 10. The teams above, it's difficult. However,
Liverpool the weekend.
So there you go. There's a chance for some more points. I mean, West Ham are the team below. It really is. At the moment, you're trying to scrutinise it, and as Luke said on, was it the mailbag this week, or certainly maybe on Monday,
maybe just a text
that that we are scrutinising the bottom three more than ever because of what's happened in recent seasons. But look, I want to focus more on the performance against Chelsea because they were excellent, and that 3-5-2 formation seems to have clicked, for want of a better word, perhaps. And it's those little things when a manager changes something up and it starts to, the performances are there, and then you get a big result like this that can, hush the doubters for a little bit of time. But they were excellent all over the pitch. I mean, the intensity that Chelsea had against Arsenal and Barcelona, Leeds seemed to have stole it from them. And as I say, just splurged it everywhere, all across Elland Road, because from start to finish, they were at it. Early goal, great header. And they look dangerous.
The leap on him, unreal.
Yeah, cracking into that.
It was.
In this match.
There's something about I think with Leeds, because of where the away fans are, you can't see them behind either goal. So when a goal goes in at Elland Road, it's particularly raucous. Do you know what I mean? Because some grounds behind, usually the away fans are in the corner. You see. If a goal goes in, there's only half of it celebrate, or only a section or something like that. Elland Road was pumping, and when it's like that, they won't be denied. Tanaka's goal, though, come on, come on!
What proper sniper shot that. I love that type of finish from there, where it's just so kind of so precisely placed. Absolutely brilliant. It's a really good move from Leeds as well. Again, that came from their intensity.
Yeah, it did.
That was the thing that surprised me about DCL getting the man of the match. How good Ethan Ampadu was.
Yes,
it was almost like him coming through at Chelsea kind of quality. You're like, oh, this guy's going to be really special. I realise he's how old is he now? 25. I do like him, and I do wish he could sort of maintain a Premier League buff, because I think he's a really, really good footballer. I'd like him to grow out his dreads as well. That would be really cool.
Yeah.